5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live-ish again. Okay, so it looks like I've got the microphone back, but we don't have the background music, and we don't have the soundboard. Yeah, so I don't exactly know what happened. I have a sneaking suspicion it's because I updated the camera software that had a bug fix that let it hook into the new macOS Ventura AV subsystem, and I think it's coming into conflict with the rest of my software, so I might need to downgrade that. But at least right now, what the weird thing is, okay, so now I'm actually not seeing, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna check a couple more things. Let's hope this doesn't break anything. Okay, so that's back online. Okay, I see nothing happening there. Okay, there's guest audio. We're not even doing that right now anyway. Default system output. Is that a thing? System catch-all? I don't think that's a thing. All right. Okay, testing 1, 2. So give me just another minute here. Figure out. Let me see if I can get any of the audio stuff back. I'm thinking I probably can't. Oh. Okay. Oh, hey, we got background music back. That's awesome. Okay. Let me test my luck here. I'm going to test my luck. We're going to see what this may crash it. Okay. Oh, hey. All right, that still works. All right. Do I dare try my luck to the maximum? Let's see. That should not work. And then this should work. Hey! Everything's back. Everything works again. I don't exactly know how, because it just opened up and gave me an error message saying this isn't working. But it seems like it's working. So we're going to roll with it. So let me just double check that I'm actually live here. I see one icon shows that I am. Another one seems to show that I'm not. Okay, it looks like I am live. Okay, yes. Okay, now the other one went back on. So now I am officially live. If I wasn't live before, I am definitely live right this exact moment. Okay. So, one more second here. Let me just fix one little tiny thing, and then I will tell you what we're working on, and we'll get started. So I'm just going to delete the 6 minutes of technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, let me see if I can get my classical tag back. Oh, interesting. Well, there's a whole bunch more here that I should explore later. Okay, we're going to switch back from ambient to classical. And I'll just start us off with some Final Fantasy. Okay, cool. So, sorry about that. You know, all software sucks. And streaming software sucks a lot because there's no option to pay for any streaming software that actually runs on your computer. All of the paid options are cloud crap. So this is what we have to deal with. All right, that said, let's pop a top, my friends. Before we even get started, let's get started. Have a little bit of Mountain Dew. Oh yeah, 11:13 p.m. Opening up a can of caffeine. What could go wrong? Nothing. Nothing could go wrong. It's 100% pure focus. It's a little warm in here. I need to slip into something a little more comfortable. There we go. Actually, it's because I wanted the letter B to show. Oh, This has been sitting way too long. Not cold enough. Not cold enough. Okay. So basically, this should be, you know, as always, famous last words, a very simple task that I have before me today. Not one worthy of opening up a can of caffeine, that's for sure. But I'm going to add vim-smartcase. So vim-smartcase is not a plugin. It's just a configuration that makes sense. I'm going to include it in Vim Essentials. And there's also Vim Ale was updated to a new version, and it has an option that sucks and that is not immediately obvious how to change or configure. And so what it does, it's inline hinting. And basically you put a curly brace in the middle of a file, you know, because you're typing a new function in the middle of a file, because we don't always type our functions at the end of the file. And then the whole entire file just becomes nothing but inline error messages, which is way worse than the little errors down in the message bar. And it becomes unreadable. So we're going to, for the purpose, I don't like to do non-default things in Webi, but in this particular case, it's the right thing to do. So that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and get logged in beta here. I already started this earlier today. So I'm going to go into beta webinstall.dev. We're going to go into installers. Vim extras. That's what I'm calling this. What do we got here? I think I already added this. Yeah, I'll show you. So this is the change that we're making to Vim Ale. I called it don't spam the virtual text. Disable to disable. So the default behavior was all rather than current. And had a little bit of a discussion with the author about it, and he seems pretty firm in that it needs to be all. And I don't know what he's doing, but I don't see the use case for it. I think current can let people know that it's there. Sorry. Also, I'm changing the error sign back to an X and the warning sign back to a warning. I actually wanted that not to be the colorful warning. I wanted it to be the plain text warning. And the reason is that these are 2-byte characters, not 3-byte characters. And there's some software in which 3-byte characters and 4-byte characters don't show up properly. And a lot of these are 3 and 4-byte characters. So we're going to go with the warning symbol here. I might even want, because this one sometimes renders as a graphic and sometimes renders as more character style, I may actually want to replace that with, say, the dot or an exclamation mark, just a simple exclamation mark. I'm not really sure. I'm open to feedback. But just for compatibility, this isn't going to break anybody's workflow, you know. It's just, it should improve workflows for some people, and it shouldn't break anything for other people, and it's still clear. Rather than a nuclear sign, it's an X, you know, no big deal. So that's one change we're making. And then the other change we're making, hold on, I've got one of those itching feelings that I have something in my paste buffer. I think I know what it is, but let me, okay, yeah. Okay, it was just the title of this stream. Because I always get a tingly spider sense, you know, whenever there's something in my paste buffer. Like when you left your keys on the counter. That's literally the feeling that I get when I leave something in my copy buffer. So I just needed to check and see what that was. Okay, with that out of the way, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to copy Vim spell, and we're going to use that for vim-smartcase. So vim spell, let me just bring that up. This is all part of Vim Essentials. We're going to add this one to Vim Essentials as well. I don't feel bad about doing that. I try to keep it lean, and this is a basic Vim configuration, so I'm not too worried about it. Oh, I am worried about that sound though. Okay, it's ending. So Vim spell is a very, very simple, you could have done this yourself thing. You just What is it? Set spell? Set spell. That's it. That's all you do. So I don't know why spell check isn't turned on by default, but it isn't. But that's the cheat sheet for Vim spell. And I'm going to go back to Vim Essentials and post that link if you haven't been using it. I promise, someday soon, I will try, soon being within the next 20 years. I don't want to, put too fine of a point on it. But at some point within the next 20 years, I will try out NeoVim. I am convinced that once I start using it, I will wish that I had been using it forever. Because people tell me that. It also seems like one of those things that people can't articulate why it's better. Excuse me. Which I've had that with... I'm trying to think. There's something else like that where iTerm 2. iTerm 2. I got to the point, me and my buddy, we'd been using iTerm 2 for years. And one day he said to me, I can't remember why iTerm 2 is better. And I said, I can't either. So we went back to using the regular terminal. We're back on iTerm 2. I still can't articulate why iTerm 2 is better. And I think NeoVim might be one of those things where it's better, and it's clearly better. It's just difficult to articulate why it's better. So we're going to go ahead and add vim-smartcase. Oh, whoops. Let's go to beta. That's where we're going to go here. So right now, I copied it from Vim spell, so it's going to say all the spell thing. Okay, and then let's go ahead and just update the README, and we're just going to change all of this from Vim spell to vim-smartcase. And then vim-smartcase is Vim's built-in smart, I don't know how to say this. It's the built-in case sensitivity. Search. I don't... vim-smartcase is Vim's built-in... I don't know how to call it other than smart casing. It's when it's case sensitive when it's a capital letter, and case insensitive when it's only lowercase letters. Let's see. Case matching. Does that even make sense? Semi-insensitive case matching. There we go. Can we go with that? Can we run with that? Vim search is case sensitive by default. This makes it 1 case insensitive and then 2 sensitive to mixed case. There we go. Can you see the first draft of the Bash course? Well, you cannot see it. It is an experience. So I have some notes, and there actually is some recorded material that we've already done, but it is going to be basically, I'm going to be going over some projects. And kind of what I put in the tweet, there's 2 tweets, the first one and the second one. I think the second one said there's going to be some code alongs and some this and some that. So that is going to be, the draft is going to be me working with it live so that I know what comes across well and what doesn't come across well. So if anybody's interested, this weekend, I'm not sure what time yet, we'll figure that out, but this weekend, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, in Mountain Time in the US, I'm going to be doing a live presentation of live group training, a live training gosh, I'm losing the words. Let me get the tweet. Interactive shell and scripting, which are 2 different things. So, and it's going to be a layered approach, because my thought on this is that you basically need to learn a lot of things. And so we have to restrict the minimum that you learn, because we all know that if you learn too much, it's information overload. But yet you have to learn too much, because you can't just learn one thing. You can't just sit down and learn one thing. You have to learn about 10 different things to get started with doing what you need to do on the computer to be a developer. And so my thought process is teach the absolute minimum that is necessary to have any degree of productivity, do a little bit of muscle memory exercise on that, and then move forward to the next minimum that you need to know. So let me grab this here. I'm going to grab the second tweet. So here it be. So draft of part 1 of Beyond Code Bootcamp. So Josh and I have been working on this. We will probably release a beta version later this year, and then refine it and release get feedback and everything and refine it. Our goal is basically this. I've been talking about this thing for 2 years now, maybe longer than that, and I haven't done it because I get analysis paralysis. And so he's very methodical, and he's helped me to understand a methodology by which we'll actually produce the course, that it'll really get done. And that is that we do an iterative process where we take a small segment, we go through it just off the cuff, we take the notes from what we did off the cuff, we then record it, he edits it and works on his editing skill, and kind of does the same thing I'm doing with working on my material skill. Then we will repeat. So it'll be like a progressively enhanced JPEG, if you remember those from the 90s. He had this wonderful quote that the whole world needs to know. Let me see if I can find it. Give me just a second. Oh, help me. Where did I put it? That's weird. I had the note on my computer here. Just let me think. What was the keyword in it? That's weird. Okay, well, anyway, I don't remember what his quote was, but he was quoting or paraphrasing somebody else, and it basically said, the act of creation and the act of editing are entirely separate acts. Are and must be entirely separate acts. So if you try to edit during creation, you will never finish what you're creating. You have to create and then edit. Create and then edit. Not edit while creating. Get all of the thoughts out in the least edited form you can stand, and then take it, make notes, redo it, edit. So outline, do, edit the outline, redo, edit the do. Okay, so any good idea for a SAS? That's not what the world I work in. I mean, it is the world that I work in, but it's not the world that I think in. Let's put it that way. I feel that SAS is a necessary evil right now, in part because of venture capital. Okay. Vim search is case sensitive by default. This makes it case insensitive by default, which I think is \C. Hold on. Case in. There we go. Look at that. Not, actually, IE is correct here. It's halfway correct. Because IE means in other words. It's some sort of Latin phrase that basically means in other words. And in this case, I think a semicolon would be appropriate too. No, it's... punctuation's so hard. Anyway. So the foo is not what the IE applies to, but the \C, and that is what it applies to. But comes with options for swapping that to case insensitive. Swapping that to be one case insensitive by default and case sensitive on mixed case search. This vim-smartcase plugin turns on ignore case and smart case. Adds. It's going to be set ignore case and set smart case. I think that's what it is. I have to actually take a look at it. Hold on. Where's my .vimrc? What? Where did it go? And by the way, if you vehemently disagree with this change, let me know now, because it's about to go into the default of Vim Essentials. But I think it should be the default in Vim Essentials, because when you don't know Vim well, you don't know... I didn't learn until last week that \C is how you do this. I don't know why it took me 20 years to learn that, but it did, and it would have saved me a lot of time, and it's kind of the thing that I want on by default. And when I don't want it, I'm at the end of my search, it's matching too many things. putting a \C, it's pretty easy to remember once you know about it, and this makes you know about it. Let's see. I'm going to get to those comments in just a second. I see there's some good ones there. I see some emojis. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Ah! Okay. This is what I want. Oh, and we need that files thing. Hold on. Before the cheat sheet. That's where files goes. This is a very simple task, by the way. If anybody wanted to add this broadly across all of Webi, this is a very simple, mundane task to do. Just go through and set what files are touched by each thing. So this one is going to touch Vim plugin. I think it's something and then start, maybe. Vim, no, this doesn't even touch the plugins. So this is going to touch vim-rc and .vim plugins smartcase .vim is what this is going to be. Okay, let me catch up on comments. Think about a software that you use that you'd like as a service. I guess that's true. In response to any good ideas for SaaS. Wait, is that why I never finish anything? Because I'm always in a constant state of switching? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I need to find... maybe it's only on my phone. Maybe there was some sort of... Hey, what's up, Puppy Frog? Thanks for the sub. Oh, okay. A strange text message came up from a name that I knew but didn't remember because it's foreign. And I was thinking, wait, how can I place that? Or where do I place that? Okay, let's see. What am I looking for? Notes. I'm looking on my Notes app. It must be here in the to-dos, right? What the heck is going on? I think I just put it in whatever note was open at the moment without any regard to what note it should have been in. And it might have been in a note that I deleted. It might have been in a stupid note. Because I'm not seeing it on my phone. And my phone, the desktop are synced, but... just no. That's too bad. Because it was smart. I'm going to try one more note that it could be in. Nope. I don't know what happened to it. That stinks, because I took some notes on some stuff he said, and I remember the concept of it, but the actual words were nice. Sass. Alright. Punctuation is why we chose CS. Because we get emojis, or because we like... I don't even know how to... Hold on here. Snap fingers. Down, up, shake, heart, cat. I don't know what to make of that. SmartCase is always part of your configs. Good. Wait, Vim is older than me? Yeah, a lot of things are older than you, Mr. 2012 Honda Accord base model silver. Or Mrs. Whatever the case is. Not gonna lie. Man, you abbreviated that in a way that almost got you auto-banned. Because we had some raiders, but not in a good way, come in, and they were using every variation of a certain crude word that cannot be said by anyone who is of my melanin deficiency. And so I added a whole bunch of misspellings and abbreviations and everything to the block list because they were just, it was I don't know if it was one person or it was a group of people. It was about 10 or 15 accounts, and they were just posting, but it seemed to be one at a time, which makes me think that either it was multiple people or one person who wasn't as well coordinated, because they could have just, had one account do part of the word and another account do part of the word, another account do part of the word, but they were splitting it up and recombining in all sorts of ways. Yeah. The lifesaver info. Punctuation's hard. What? I'm picking up what you're putting down. Oh, yeah, you smell what I'm stepping in. Mad respect for the handling of it, though. Oh, were you here that day? Sorry, I don't remember who else was here. Yeah, it was a crappy situation, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, I tell you what, I'm still shaken by that stuff a little bit. It doesn't shake me as much as it did the first couple times. Because you stream for a little bit and you're like, I've got 0 followers, but cool, I'm at least I'm doing it. And then you get a couple of people that you get to talk to and you think this is cool. And then you get bombed pretty early on by somebody who's really crass and just wants to make your day miserable. And the first time, it really does. Well, if you're a little more sensitive like me, it's kind of weird because I'm so brash and offensive myself, but then I'm also quite sensitive. Something like that can ruin my day. It could just make me feel depressed for hours. And now because I've dealt with it a couple of times and I know what to expect, it doesn't throw me off that much. It's a little frustrating. It's a little frustrating, but it's not that big of a deal. And and you got to consider this perspective of it too. I said this at the time that it was the time that it was happening, but these people, they are having a rough go of it, right? Because they're taking time out of their day to try to make you miserable. And I know it sounds cliche, but that is the state that their life is at, that they're not out there figuring out a way to make their lives better. They're not trying to figure out, how do I get to the next stage? Instead, they're out there trying to figure out how to get someone else down lower. And some of the comments were so juvenile, I almost said, what are you, 12? Does your mom know you're still up? But it could have been a 12-year-old, so I didn't say that. Because that might have been a little too demeaning. But yeah, and, especially, you don't know who it is. You don't know what their motivation is. You don't know why. Why did they pick you? But it is also a little bit of an ego boost because it's, hey, somehow I magically became important enough for somebody to invest time in me. Not really what I wanted, but, I'm that important now. So there's that. All right. Spell.vim, smartcase.vim. And then this is going to become... I'm just going to replace all instances. I think we can just replace all instances of spell with smartcase, and I think we'll do all right. Okay, so this is where that one goes. So I think I already got that right, but let's just try it out to see. What? Nope. Dang it. Too many paste buffers. Too many copy and paste buffers. Okay. So these are the files that are going to be edited. This is something that I wanted to do. I actually wanted to make it part of this thing up here, where there would be a files and then an array. That's what I'd like to move it to eventually, and then have this section auto-generated for everything. Because you should always know with any Webi installer, it should be really, really clear. Here's everything this could possibly touch on your system. Let me just take a look at this real quick. And I should actually, well, should's a strong word. I don't know if I want to make a separate repo for this, but technically I should, because you should be able to version these. All right. Someday you'll tell me a little story of something that happened along those lines with the last YouTube channel you worked on. Okay. You tell me about it. You just slide right into my DMs and you tell me about it. I have some of the bad guys' side evident in some of my own family members. Yeah, so there is an amazing book. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Let me see if I can pull it up here in just a second. If I can remember the name of it first. Oops. What is it? I'm gonna have to maybe log into my Audible. I think it's Tribal Leadership. Let me check and see if this looks like it's the one. Yeah, it's got the 5 paper clips. This might be the one. Let me read the synopsis real quick. It's about... Okay, here we go. Yeah. This is it. Let me bring this over here. And then I'll give you a link to the book as well. So, Tribal Leadership. Stage 1. The person at Stage 1 is alienated from others, expressing the view that life sucks. Everybody's life sucks. The world sucks. These are people who are dangerous or have the potential to become dangerous. These are the people who, you know, that hurt others, sometimes in a big way. Stage 2 are people who are surrounded by people who seem to have some power they lack. So they recognize that others have something they don't, and their language expresses, my life sucks. So there's life sucks, everything's bad. Everything's bad for everybody. There's no good in the world. Stage 2 is, my life sucks. So they can be motivated. They can get to Stage 3. Person at Stage 3 is connected to others in a series of 2-person relationships. The language of this stage says, I'm great. And in the background is, and you are not. The Stage 4, so this person builds value-based relationships between others. So they're the person who introduces. So I kind of am between a 3 and a 4. I think I'm great. I think some other people are great. I try to introduce great people to great people, but I'm not at Stage 5. And every once in a while, I dip down into 1 or 2, but just kind of for a moment, just a bad day kind of thing. But I think I live in the space between 3 and 4. And it says that a lot of people estimate that they're 2 stages above where they really are, but I really don't think I'm at stage 1. Anyway, stage 5 is the person who says life is great. So there's life sucks, my life sucks, I'm great, we're great, life is great. And it's a really inspiring book. I'd recommend anybody read it. I don't know how to put it into practice in my life, but it is inspiring. And I think there's a lot of good messages that can be taken from it. And if you know how to apply it to your life, then great. I believe in it, but I don't know how to do it. So this is Tribal Leadership. And it was actually, you know what? I'm going to post, let me see if I can grab it real quick. If y'all want a Rust course, if you want to learn beginner's Rust, and this kind of does assume that there is some, let's see, posting on my live stream right now. So this is Rust course by probably one of the best people and best instructors that you're going to come across. His name is, well, he goes by Clean Cut. I think he puts his real name online, but he goes by Clean Cut, so I'll just call him Clean Cut because that's what I see him as online. And he's got a good intro to Rust course, but you do kind of need to know some other programming first. If you don't, you could still watch it and get some good stuff out of it. Yeah. Typing on mobile, it's rough, yeah. This is 100% next on my reading list. Good. Temporarily feral, yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Schrodinger's tribe members. Well, no, there's a difference. Yeah, so hopefully you got that link, that Rust course right there. That's Clean Cut. So you can't be life is great and life sucks at the same time. You can be bipolar, but you can't be both at the same time. You can recognize life is terrible. Life has terrible things. Atrocious things happen. You can recognize that life is terrible, but not feel that life is terrible. Not feel that life is pointless. Not feel that life is something that can be treated without regard and with waste. Do you get what I'm saying? So the people who are at the level of life sucks, they're the people who don't regard life as a virtue. They're people who, if they are not redeemed from that state of hell, okay, and a little bit of religious terminology, but this is kind of what I believe, is that hell is not a place you go. Hell is a place you create. And I don't want to talk in absolutes, because there's people who have mental illnesses that are not brought about by their own choices. There are people who have mental illnesses that are brought about by their own choices, but they're not reversible. There are people who, for whatever reason, sociopathy, ostensibly these people do not have the ability to choose a higher way of living because they're missing a part of their brain, the same as somebody who's has blindness, is missing functionality of their eyes, or somebody who, there's lots of different disorders, So, but I think in large part, the stage 1, that's hell. That's what hell is. I've heard a phrase from a religious leader that I respect, who says, "You don't earn heaven, you learn heaven." Heaven, and there's actually a popular song from the 80s. "Oh, you know what that's worth. We'll make heaven a place on earth." And I think that's the thing. And I think that's what this book is about, but it doesn't speak about it in religious terms. I don't know if the guy's religious or anything, but that's kind of what I see, is that stage 5 is you are living a celestial life. You're living a heavenly life. You're living a life of abundance. You're living a life of forgiveness. You're living a life of true joy and inspiration. And he says that organizationally, in his book, he says organizationally, nobody can sustain that level of lifestyle. We all kind of fluctuate back and forth. Nobody can stay at level 5. It's just not humanly possible to constantly be in that state of gratitude and abundance and forgiveness. It's just, it's godly. It's too godly. We can't do it. So, and I believe, I believe that book is a very inspiring book. It's not a religious book, but it is, I would argue it's a spiritual book, although I don't know that the author would necessarily argue that. But it's a very uplifting book, very, very good book. Dark Triad personality traits. We are evil. I actually love hearing your very, very well-informed, thought-out, and articulate takes on the book, psychology, and all this stuff. Yeah, well, so here's the thing. I am not a good example of the believers, I would say, and I am a little bit sad about that. I am a religious person. I have a lot of beliefs. I don't live up to them very well. And so there's hypocrisy and then there's aspirational. Hypocrisy is, I know what I'm doing and it's okay for me to do it because I'm me and I'm not you. But you need to do what you're supposed to do. And maybe hypocrisy isn't always that cut and dry, but that's kind of the attitude of hypocrisy. Aspirational is, I know this is what you should do. I also know what's what I should do. I just am not doing it. So, there's that. Okay, do I want to be in... Oh, we need to rename this. Why did we not... Oh, it's not under version control. So we didn't rename it because it's not under version control. Okay, that's good. So let me check. What did we fill this up? No, we didn't. Wait, how the heck did didn't I just copy and paste this? Where did it go? I copied and pasted it into the README. Yeah. But the guy, Clean Cut, he's a very uplifting individual. I think that he's got more of his life figured out in terms of getting his spirituality in line with his practice. And I think that shows in his character. I think just, you could probably get that just from watching him teach Rust. You could probably get the feeling that, of course he's not perfect. Of course you could dig up dirt on him, right? But I think you kind of get the feeling from him that he's somebody whose his heart and his hands have managed to come together and do the same thing a lot more than most people. All right. There we go. Let's see, there we go. Something or something. So, FYI, can put before, after, or in the middle of a search. Let's see. Let's go with foo. Foo. I'm going to do it in capital. Or I don't like the way that is working out. We're going to go with bar on this one because of the nature of how that phoneticizes. There we go. Let's see. All right, catch him on chat. One of my favorite books on that regard is In the Name of Identity. I will have to check that out. Another really interesting book along these veins. Well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them I could recommend. But what was it? It's a book that everybody knows. If I said the name of it, it's been translated into more languages than almost every other book. It's a book about philosophy and religion and abundance. It's told in a very abstract way. The Alchemist. The Alchemist. Have y'all heard of The Alchemist? Oh, no audiobooks. So when I say I read books, I don't really read books. Well, except for when you see me reading them on stream, which is far too rarely. I did read The Alchemist, though. The Alchemist is a book, and I do read with my children. And we're reading Narnia right now. So I just finished Magician's Nephew for the first time. I didn't realize I've actually never read the Narnia books. I've read, I think, the other popular series, A Wrinkle in Time. I've read all except for the last book because I think she came out with the last book when I was an adult. I think I read all the other ones. I don't know if I finished Many Waters. But it turns out, in reading Narnia, I can tell I've definitely never read Narnia before, because there's all this English language that I'm learning. The 1900s or 1800s English. I guess it'd be 1900s English, because I don't think it's 200 years old. Anyway. Well, I'm going to give you a link to this one, too. The Alchemist is just a very interesting book. And I don't quite know how to explain it, but I guess I did. It's all of those things. It's fiction that tells truth, which that's the best fiction. The best fiction is fiction that tells truth. But it's a story that I think you could read with your kids. I think that it is pretty clean. I'm trying to remember if there's... Oh, apparently it's a series. I didn't know about this. But I don't remember if it's one of those things where there's kind of a raunchy love scene in it. Because I think he does have a love interest. But if you read these kind of books to find answers, you won't hear. Interesting. Yeah, I don't... that kind of a spoiler, but not really entirely a spoiler. I'm not going to read it, but one of the reviews I'm looking at for the book right now. It's one of those books where, as they say, he who hath ears, let him listen. You could absolutely get nothing out of it, but I think if your interest is piqued by it, I don't think you would get nothing out of it. But there's few people that left a review that they got nothing out of it. I think they didn't get the message of the story. For example, the movie Arrival. Okay, we're getting on so many tangents today, but the movie Arrival, I love this movie. And one of the reasons that I love this movie is that most people who watch it won't see it. Let me bring this up. You kind of have to watch it twice. You could potentially get it on the first time. I got it on the first time, but I didn't understand it on the first time. So it is a movie about a spiritual question that is asking a spiritual question and giving a potential answer to the spiritual question. And the movie is told with the plot device of the movie is alien contact. But alien contact has nothing to do with the movie. The alien contact is literally just a way for this woman to have an experience that answers the question, or that not answers the question, but provides the way by which the question can be encountered. And I think that at least 50% of the people who watch the movie have no idea what the movie is about. They follow the alien narrative and they don't get that the alien narrative is completely aside the point and has nothing to do with the movie. Other than that, it allows there to be a place for characters to meet, have something to talk around, and for the, what do they call it? MacGuffin? Is that what it's called? The MacGuffin, the mystical thing that you need but couldn't exist in reality. Is that what we call it? Object, device, or event that is necessary to the plot, motivation of the characters, but insignificant, unimportant, or irrelevant in of itself. Okay, so the alien encounter is the MacGuffin, but the gift of the aliens is the real thing. All right. I don't know if we're ever going to finish with this. I thought this was going to go quickly. Come on, y'all. All right. All right, let's see here. Available at vim-smartcase. There we go. How to install manually. We don't need any of that. Case sensitivity. There we go. Does what you think. Treat everything in text and search as lowercase. Whoops. Requires the former. Okay. Case insensitive, explicit case insensitive search for foo. Whoops. And then we need to do, well, we're going to have to do bar on this again. Bar. Can go anywhere in the search. Bark. C-bar. Backer. All right, that's it. That's the whole thing. All right, everything's overstated a million times over. That's great. We're going to run with it. All right, let me go check what's going out here. All right. All right. I know the feeling of what you're saying. Their soul just feels closer to pure than most. Hmm. I had to let that one settle a little bit because it does kind of offend my own pride. I'm an impure soul, but yeah. I like the word integrity. Integrity is at one with oneself, one's thoughts, one's heart, and one's actions are one. Integrity. Which, that is essentially pure. I don't know, I guess... Why is it the word pure just strikes me a little bit the wrong way? Is it because of the little bit of evilness in my own heart? Or is it because it feels a little too childish or a little too intangible? Whereas integrity to me feels much more tangible. I don't know. It probably is the former. Yeah, oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Integrity, yeah, that's the word you used there. Okay. Fun fact, for years I had no idea what people meant by foo or bar at all. Yeah, foo, bar, baz, gralt, garply, kooks with 2 U's. Yeah. So I really like Paulo Coelho, so I'm evading El Alchemista. Why do you dislike him? What else has he done? I'm not familiar with his works. Rust documentation. 2001 A Space Odyssey. I have never watched it. I agree with your thoughts on Arrival. Hey, Yoha Broha. How's it going? Nice to see you here again. Yoha Broha. I needed to see a breakdown of it before I understood, but then I had to watch it again. Yeah. I'm talking about... Yeah, I was talking about Arrival. Okay, we're on the same page now. Pure is kind of a wrong word. I say pure knowing that purity is inachievable for humans. Yeah, well, but a level of purity is. It's just... Pure sounds... To me, it just sounds kind of... It does kind of have that feeling of inattainable, and also, I guess, kind of a... I get the sense of, and I'm not saying that you do this, but I get kind of the sense of a false worship when we're enamored, when we're in love, when we are taken in by something, and we kind of have this euphoria about it. Something can feel pure, but things are rarely pure. Maybe, but again, that might just be my jaded nature. Religion uses it for control of women and stuff. Religion, some religions, yes. I think that I don't, well, because I am religious, I don't like it when people blanketly state that, religion does this or religion does that. Religion is an easy tool for those who are evil to abuse. So, okay, I'm going to go on a little bit of tangent here, but there's a lot of things that I think people, whether you could take things literally or you can take things figuratively, but can you take them as if they were real? Not just literal, but real. Because real, I think figurative is still real sometimes. We participate in figurative things. We have figurative speech, but it's real. It's about real things. So if you believe, let's just say that Jesus were a real figure in a real time. He came into the midst of a people that it was a government, right? It was the Jews they had a form of government that was extremely strict and extremely harsh. And he came in and he was basically a rebel who said, "Hey, what if we just treat everybody nice?" And then people came and took his message and then did the exact same thing, So whether you believe that he was a philosopher, you don't believe he was real at all, whatever, but just imagine with me for a minute. There's this Jewish system that has become corrupt, that rather than being worship of goodness and the divine, it has become the worship of piety and of buildings and of animals and all the things that it wasn't supposed to be, that were supposed to be symbolic and spiritual, had become tainted, right? And so this guy comes along and overthrows it with a new message, a new doctrine, and just overthrows these people who've had power for hundreds of years. And then within 100 years, 200 years, that was being established was overthrown by another group that was very much like the former. So religion is something that people who seek power often find ways to get in positions of power in people's belief systems and corrupt them. And so I don't think that, and again, I somewhat apologize that, because we're talking about, mostly code here, but we were led down this path, or not we're led, but we had this discussion, and I like talking about these things. I don't want that to be what my channel is about, because my channel is about code, but this is real me and this is real you, and we're having a conversation. So anyway, I think, oh good, I'm glad that you're going to watch Arrival tonight. It is a good movie. It is a good movie. The first few scenes and the last few scenes are what the whole movie is about. The first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes. Everything else is just a way to explain why the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes are there. But anyway, like I was saying, so I believe, for example, I don't believe that my religion is evil or controlling. I believe that all people are fallible and all religious leaders make mistakes. But there's a difference between when someone has subverted a message or an institution to gain control and power versus people making mistakes and the message that originated the institution, if that makes sense. Yeah, purity kind of gives off elitist vibes. Yeah, I think that is kind of maybe, yeah, a separating force, sure. All right. To fall into those weird ideas in Latin America because they read some of... I missed to fall into. Two as in dos? Or two as in... What? Oh, wait, I missed something. He has done some more books that engage into his magical thinking. Leads a lot of people in this kind of place where thinking is more important than acting. I've seen a lot of people fall... Okay, the 1-2 is just a typo. Fall into those weird ideas. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Because I take it from... It's fiction, but it's interesting and it has some thought experiments. I would not take it as literal or real in terms of the magic system that's presented. Yeah. Pure implies there's just one correct, centered way of being, while integrity just means that whatever you are just one, without implying that the one is the right path. That is another good analysis. Yeah, extremely well said, Josue. Thank you. I think that you have captured part of... Yes, that I think that fits perfectly with why to call someone pure makes me a little uncomfortable, but to say that they have integrity does not, because you can be a good person. Well, you can be a good person no matter what, but there is a sense of integrity, that integrity leads towards more good qualities than bad qualities. But you can be a person with great integrity who has a lot of rough edges. But I don't think that Clean Cut is one who particularly has a lot of rough edges. I have no doubt that he's a very fallible person who you could certainly not like as anyone is, but just going back to the original prompt there. Agree with everything you're saying. I didn't really articulate my take very well. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I've spent years of my life contemplating. I mean, it's not like I sit around and do it every day, but from a week to week basis, I think a lot about stories of the Bible and wonder what they really mean. Wonder what is it like if they're true? What is it like if they're factual? Because true and factual are separate things. Like I was saying, you can learn truth from fiction, parables, allegories, Aesop's fables. There's things that are fiction that teach truth, and there's things that are true that can teach fiction. You know, it's an interesting way. But anyway, as I've gotten older, I think I'm actually worse at following my beliefs, but I'm better at identifying what they should have been all along. There are so many things that I think are messages that people just, I don't know. So I'm Christian. I have some Christian friends that have ideas that I strongly disagree with. And then just some people I met. There was one time I met somebody who was, I don't know what you call it, witnessing on the sidewalk. And you just kind of got the sense of evil about him. He was just one of those people that didn't have a light of an invitation about him. He had a very just negative vibe. It was uncomfortable to talk to him, but he had a sign up that had some things on it that were politically charged, and I wasn't quite sure at first what his intent was. I didn't know if he was crazy or if he was trying to stir up trouble or what he was doing, but it was politically charged, and it had some words on there that kind of abused some words of scripture in a way that looked really bad. It misconstrued something that I believe, took some words out of context, put some phrases together that said something that I strongly, strongly disagree with. And don't think that anybody should be on a street with a sign that says that kind of thing. And so I actually stopped and talked with him. And that was just a very uncomfortable conversation. But I kind of hope that his followers, because he had a couple of teenagers that were with him as well. And I talked with him for a while, and he ended up putting his sign down. I don't know if I got through to him at all, but I kind of said, hey, I don't feel like the message that you're spreading is one that is going to help people live a better life, that's going to bring people to greater truth or feel better, something along those lines. It was about an hour-long conversation, but he put down the sign the whole time we were talking, and I think that after we were talking, he was done, and I was glad for him to be off the street, because I don't want somebody who proclaims to be part of a group that I am part of to spread a message that I know is so far away from what almost everybody in that group believes. You know, they're the kind of people that somebody takes pictures of and posts memes on the internet of, look at these terrible people and what they believe. It was that kind of thing. And so, yeah. But most of the people I have don't have, they're not doing that kind of stuff. They just see things differently in a way that I want to say, well, is there not a broader context in which we could view this? Is there not more room? Do we have to put these concepts in a box and say the box is where they live and there can't be a different potential for interpretation and that kind of thing? So, anyway. Feet, add vim-smartcase, and we'll test this momentarily. In fact, we'll test it now. All right, export Webi beta, Webi vim-smartcase. Well, that was fun and easy. Okay. All right, so now I need to do prettier. Okay. Yay, it's working. Excellent. This is exactly what I wanted. Cool. So it worked. Uh-oh. All right. And then what else we need to do? We need to update Vim Essentials. And we need to add right along Vim spell vim-smartcase. I love this so much. This is Twilight Princess, The Mind Takes Flight. I think this was actually a very similar tune as in Skyward Sword. But I tell you one thing. I'll get back to comments in a second. So I have this second Twitter account now. So I have CoolAge86 on Twitter, and I have Beyond Code on Twitter. And I'm starting to realize that I like myself more as Beyond Code on Twitter because I'm committed with Beyond Code to not say anything sarcastic, to not get involved in any political debate. I could be lighthearted, but not sarcastic, not bitter edge. So there's certain values that go out on the brand account for Beyond Code. It's @_Beyond Code. I'll share a link. And I'm not posting on it as often as the other one, but I have more fun. I enjoy it more. And I think that that's a good segue for me, that maybe I will be able to alter my persona to be my better persona and have that be my true persona. You know, because even by taking the step of dividing my personas and saying I'm creating a business and this persona is for that business, and so this persona will exemplify the values of that business, but the values of the business are better than my own values. You know, so, or not necessarily better than my own values. Uh-oh, what happened? Encoder encountered an error. Hold on a second. What? So we're no longer recording. I'll let Josh know this one's not recording all the way. But it doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to do any clips or any clips with this. We'll see. I don't know. I could do a... Yeah, I don't know. We've had some interesting conversation that could be clip worthy. I don't know if I really want to clip it though. Because again, I have a focus for my channel and these things being incidental is good, but I don't want to go into the realm of preachy. Or not preachy. Preachy is not the word, but you kind of get what I'm saying, I think. The stream right now just stopped recording, but the stream is still going, so no recorded file for this one. I don't think there will be any clips anyway, but we're not done yet. Okay, Beyond Code Bootcamp banner. I need to go move this over into a place real quick. There's a file I need to grab. Then I'll go check the comments. Okay, there we go. Wait, first I need to make sure I'm done with whatever I was doing here. Vim spell. I think there was another one that I wanted to make. Optional somewhere. Okay, Vim Essentials. Install the README. Vim shell. Oh, interesting. So Vim shell. Okay. Clean it up. Spell. All right, that's good enough then. All right, let me just double check what we have under the installer here. Do we have any comments or anything that might have needed to be different? Oh, spell check. There we go. Smartcase. Hey, and check this out. Now, oh, whoops, it's not installed here yet. All right, let's do this. There we go. Yay! Little wins. That's going to make my life better. And hopefully yours too. Okay, let me get back over here. Parable of the Spoons. I've probably heard that one, but I don't know what that is. All of this is saying what I want to say in a way that I really can't find to say words myself. Well, I'm glad that this was helpful. I'm really glad. I'm glad I'm glad this conversation happened the way it did. But I'm also a Honda. Okay, Parable of the Spoons. What is that one? I recently found religion and I've been having all the questions too. I'm here coding or talking. Cool. The Westboro Baptists, I don't know who they are. So I will not comment this way or that way. I will look it up in a private tab real quick. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so one of the things, because Jesus gets a bad rap because of the people who claim to follow him. And I mean, the same thing was true with the Jews to some degree, and that's why Jesus was a revolutionary, because he was, oh, ye generation of vipers, yada, yada, yada. You know, he pointed out the hypocrisy, the rules for me and not for thee and all that. And he made a lot of people upset, and that's why they killed him. I mean, that's not really a laughing matter, but, you know, he can, whatever. Anyway, yeah, a lot of people don't represent him. One thing that we actually talked about in church this Sunday, which was something that really hit home for me because it's something I really need to practice, because I've just been not being a good follower, and not even, I don't even necessarily like that phrasing, but there are principles that if I live by will make my life better, that I will feel better, that other people around me will feel better. And one of those principles is revile not against the sinners. And this, or I think the translation is resist not evil. But when he was talking about it in church, he was kind of given an alternate, and not really an alternate interpretation, more a clarifying interpretation, because the phrase resist not evil doesn't quite make sense on its own, but it does. I believe that the way that he was expanding on it was the proper interpretation in modern English, which is don't push back against people who do things you don't like. Don't get in the faces of people who do things you don't like. That's what it meant by resist not evil. Don't get up and crush against them or put resistance on them. You don't try to captivate them. Don't try to force them. Is basic. If you see something as evil, don't go out there and try to force it not to happen. Rather, instead, be a light on a hill. Be somebody who's positive. Be somebody who's happy. Be somebody who, in the earlier talk about stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, be somebody who's up at stage 3, 4, 5 that says, hey, life is good. Look what you could have. Look what there could be. Look how nice it can be. Look how nice it is. And I think that it's it's exact opposite of that message, whether you believe or not. It's exact opposite of that message to do something like go out and protest against individuals. I think that it is appropriate to, well, I don't think it's always inappropriate to protest against individuals, because I think there's times when something needs to change. We need to vote. We need to, in that, we need to vote against some things. We need to be discriminatory in terms of there are some choices we can make and other choices we can make, and we have to discern between the choices that we want to make and the choices we don't want to make. So we have to make some negative choices and say, this is something we don't want. This is something we're going to leave out. Not all choices are positive choices of this is something we're going to have. This is something we're going to take. But there's the general rule and there's the exception. And the general rule is, don't go looking for trouble with people that don't agree with you. That's the general rule. And there may be times when you could see something where I don't know. I don't know, because the message does seem pretty consistent. From I could pull up some other quotes and phrases and such and whatnot, but I think the message of that, of don't go looking for trouble, worry about being the best you can be, and inviting others around you to be the best they can be. The keyword invite, not force, not punish. That is not something I do well, and that's why it really hit home, because I thought, and somebody this week kind of said something that I didn't feel very good about. Hold on. Wait, what just happened here? Add vim-smartcase. Wait, what did I do then? What? Hold on. What the heck did I just do? Git diff head 1. No, let's do this folder. Anyway, I had said something in frustration, and the person said to me, "Oh, so you're one of those people that think that such and such are going to go to hell." And I really, he was poking at me, but the fact that he would say that, the fact that it could come across that way, I don't feel that what I said should have come across that way, but that was absolutely 100% not. I don't believe that. The only person I'm worried about going to hell is me and my kids, right? My wife, she's going to be all right. Me, I got some stuff to work on. My kids, they have to be raised in a way that they know how to live happy, joyful lives, that they, have peace in their hearts. Those are the people that I'm worried about going to hell. I'm not worried about all the other people. I'm not worried about this person doing this thing and that person doing that thing. I have to worry about my own problems. I've got enough evil in me that I have to contend with. I don't have time. Well, I shouldn't have time. That's one of the things I was talking about. But yeah, to go worry about what other people are doing. It was weird, because that's just not something I think about. I mean, I guess it's not weird that that's not what I think about. But it was strange, because I don't think anybody had ever accused me of that. And he clarified later, because I talked to him about it just a little bit. And he clarified, I was just giving you a hard time. But at the same time, there's usually when people are being sarcastic or making a joke, there's some kernel of truth, right? And so there's some kernel of him that thought that, potentially that that's the kind of person I am, that I don't really want to force my beliefs on other people. Sometimes I do, especially about coding. But I just mostly want to people leave me alone, and that's where I kind of get upset sometimes, is with all this politics. I just want to be free to be happy. I don't want people to tell me. Corona was hard, right? Because I'm an extrovert, as you might be able to tell, and people were actively mean when it came to going out and doing stuff. And I'm, to me, it's, look, I don't believe in this. I don't believe it. You can believe it. That's fine. You believe what you want to believe. I don't believe it. I should not have to believe what you believe. You believe what you believe. You be free to do what you want to do. We don't have to see each other. We don't have to talk to each other. Don't try to make it so that I can't do what I want to do. And so, it's kind of, it's not just the paradox of tolerance. It's the complication of tolerance. The paradox of tolerance, rightly stated, is that in order to have tolerance, you must tolerate intolerant people. That is the true paradox of tolerance. But then at the same time, but it's also a paradox, because you have to be able to be in a state where tolerance can remain. So it cannot be that the intolerant people take over and gain power. So there has to be some sort of mechanism for that, to balance that. And what is that mechanism? We don't know. We can't understand it. Can't understand it. It's kind of a whatever. It's where is that line? How does one draw that line? Who should draw that line? It's difficult. We don't have the answers. I wax Jordan Peterson. Wait, suddenly I'm blanking on his name. Yes. All right. I wish all religious people understood that. Yeah, but it's hard though, because religion just gives you this sense of belonging, it gives you this sense of community, but it gives you this sense of superiority because you know something that other people don't know or whatever. So I get why people get that way, but I don't think they should be. Taking all this stuff, discussing this, going to make it my next week's intention to put this into practice as much as I remember. Just small chunks, man. Or woman. Small chunks. Because you get grandiose ideas. We all do. And you think, oh, this is all such good stuff. I got to take it all in. But it'll be there. It'll be there later. Just a little bit. Just one thing. Okay. Corona has nothing to do with what you believe. That's the thing. And no, you don't have to tolerate intolerant people. 2 seconds here and wow, already crazy statements. Yeah, but it does have to do with what you believe. Right? So, okay, you are being rather intolerant. You come in here guns blazing. I respect your opinion. I don't agree with you. I don't think that we should have to get to a point where there should be an altercation that I have to say, you're out of here. You probably will decide on your own that this is a place you do or don't want to be, right? That Corona exists, that Corona is endemic in society, that I would have to agree has very little to do with a matter of belief. Some people don't believe it's endemic in society, maybe. But I think that most people do believe that. But to believe which interpretation of information is more correct, that is a belief. To believe what is the appropriate course of action, that is a belief. That it needs to be up for individuals to decide for themselves. People because this is how dictators are born. You just say whatever you want and you say, oh, well, this is dangerous. Can't be done. These books are bad. Can't read them. You know, and there is some extent to which things are dangerous and can't be done. There is some extent to which books are bad and can't be read. But it has to be, or not dangerous and can't be read. No, not dangerous and can't be read, but contribute very little value or negative value. And I was just kind of repeating the one phrase and then repeating the other phrase without processing it properly. But, yeah. So you are welcome to stay if you want to, you know, we're having a conversation here. You popped in. That's fine. You're welcome to stay if you want. You're welcome to leave if you want. But that's what I believe in. You know, you're welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. You can stay. You can leave. I'm working on some code stuff too, but because of the other people that joined in, we ended up on some conversation that, you know, take it or leave it. Dangerous and can't be read. C++. Oh. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dangerous and can't be read. That was the correct response. Thank you so much. I don't tolerate lactose. Cool. All right. Okay. Anyway, what was I doing here? All right, cached. So I just added, so this was just doc. Fix typo, update files. Oops. Update files section. What else? Okay. And this actually, well, once we're done, I'm going to redo this a little bit. I want my commit messages to be more specific. I'm still laughing about that earlier comment. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Take a bow. Take a bow. I'll take the bow for you. That was the best one I heard all day. I'm gonna. If you want to tweet it, I'll retweet it. If you that one I think could fall in the lighthearted. I think I could tweet that on Beyond Code. This if you tweet it and send me the link, this is I will quote tweet it on the Beyond Code. You know, he's not wrong. Let's see here. Oh yeah, you're not really that funny. Do you think leak coding is a waste of time? Yes. That came out so easily. Depends on what you want to go for. If you want to get a job at Google or at Facebook, then no. Leak coding is not a waste of time. It turns out there's a lot more leak code interviews in the industry than I had realized. Is there going to be a vid of this stream? Well, yeah. This stream is, I mean, you take the time code right now, right? Live existentialism hangout on humanity and insecurities, update number 27. All right, well, we may need to retitle it. Okay. Let me see if I can pull that off real quick. That's a great title. I have to change it to just chatting. Oh, okay. What was I doing? Oh, being all interesting and friendly. Nobody wants to know that. Yeah. So anyway, to leak coding, it can be useful. It just depends on what you want to do. I like to focus on problems that I believe are practical. I don't believe that leak code problems are practical problems. But anything that you do repetitiously can help you learn. So there's that. Okay. I'm going to try one more time. I keep on diffing this thing and then not remembering what I'm doing. So I'm going to try one more time. One more time. Doc vim spell. And the other one was vim shell. Add files section. There we go. And this one needs a file sections too, I bet. Yeah, it does. So 1, 2, 3, files. And then let me grab from vim shell or vim spell. But I think I'm going to keep it pretty simple in terms of it's going to be vimrc, it's going to be vim plugins, it's going to be vim plugin, I think, right? Plugin. Oh, bother. Wait. Plugins. Oh, plugin loads automatically, I think is the thing. Pack plugins start. There's that. Let me just make sure we don't have any of this left over. Okay, good, we do not. Because for a while I had the wrong one. The plugin folder loads automatically. Alright, let's see what else is going to be here. So this will be .local bin. This one will also update the path. .config envman path.env. Envman was something else I wanted to work on this last weekend, maybe this week. I want to actually make envman finally, because I've had this directory called envman for years, and I've never actually produced envman. But aliasmin aliasmin is pretty close to it. And then Pathman would be in a similar vein if we did the shell version of Pathman. But I'll do envman first. Okay. What else? Let's see. What does the node one look like right now? Is this files updated? Files. Oh, we don't have files here. Okay, so this one has files too. So the files here, I have to go check and see which one has. Okay. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. It's close enough. All right, so local bin. And this one is going to have node schwampt shell check. Wait, that was actually in the right order before. White space, prettier. Alright, that's good. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to be pedantic about this one. I'm going to save the files change. Add vim-smartcase. And I'm going to add the files section as a separate commit. As a doc-only commit. Doc vim essentials. Add vim-smartcase. No. Add files section. Okay, let me see. Let me check comments again. I have a job at Google. LeetCode was a waste of time. But wait. But I thought the interview process, didn't you have to go through... It wasn't the first screening? So you had the phone screening, and then you had the first interview. Wasn't the first interview LeetCode? Because I remember specifically that it is for Facebook. I thought it was for Google as well. I don't remember. I can tweet that one as mine. Okay, here we go. Overheard in the office. I'm going to say overheard in the office because it sounds cooler. Dangerous to read. Wait, what was it? Should be banned because it's too dangerous. Can't be read. Now I got to scroll back and see. How do we do that? Dangerous and can't be read. C++. Re. I don't know if I can actually capture it. Because there's some context that has to be gotten right. C++. Okay, I'm going to skip on this one. Because I don't quite know the right way to phrase it, actually. I'd have to go back and watch this part of the stream to get it. All right. Oh, we didn't do the node one yet. Okay, and what does node modify? That's a good one. Okay, so this one's going to modify .local opt node. Oh, speaking of which, so I recently found out about git commit amend. It basically will do a fix-up of the last... They should have called it git commit -- fix-up. Why they call it git commit -- amend? I never knew it was for fix-ups. I don't remember who told me that. Was it you, Sway? Was it Yo Rune? He got back to me recently about that. Anyway. Okay. README. Okay, anything else? Local opt node. I think that's right. You know what? Go needs one of these as well. Oh, whoops. And you know what? I think, did I forget to put the, yeah, I did. So this would be .config envman path.env. Right, I'm actually just going to copy the one here from Node, but Go is a little bit different because not only are we going to have I need to actually see what does it become. .local opt go. Go. Yeah. Okay, local opt go and then go bin. Yep. And then I don't think there's anything else. I could be wrong about that. I think it is just these three. Okay. All right, add file section. There we are. Okay, and of course. Oh wait, it actually did kind of open up in the. Well, it almost opened up in the one that I wanted. I actually wanted it to open up in this one. Okay. Add vim-smartcase various doc updates. Closes number. There we go. Fix vim al. Okay, and before we actually do this, hold on. Rebase-i main. So there was this. This one was supposed to be vim shell, I think. Okay, and this one was supposed to go into here. Update config for v320 plus Unicode fix. All right. Take one more look at these. So we got that one, we got a feature, got Vim Essentials, got Node, got Golang. I wonder if I can put them in this order. Not that it really matters that much, but just so that the fix comes first, the features come next, the docs come last. Yeah, it looks like that'll work. Cool. Let's go ahead and push that up. I'll make this PR, and I'll throw this over to Jojo Byte and Ryan to see if they want to give it a review. I'm going to request Yorun. I'm just going to... I took this on in number 568. So there's another thing. I'm assuming that we're no longer in mixed company here. Let's see. Oh, let me go back and catch some comments that I might have missed here. Pieces based on violence. Violence is in a potential retaliation. Yeah, I agree with that. As soon as someone draws the line to what isn't going to be tolerated, that line can be moved and corrupted. Yep. Well, it's you know, this is one of those things. It's a constant cycle. I don't tolerate lactose. Yeah, we already read that one. Okay, so sorry, I'd missed a few before. Oh, that was way up there that I missed that one. Let's see. I forgot my Twitter password and email and have not put a whole lot of effort into retrieving it. Yeah, that's fine. Flex! Flex your through your leak code. The people on Arch Linux made Pac-Man before you could use it. What? None of them was leak code. What? The people... Okay, I missed something there. People on Arch Linux made Pac-Man before you could use it. He didn't specify where Googly works. He's in the marketing department. Bum, bum, bum. Or, not that, but a ding. I need a rim shot. Let's see, tag your local Honda dealer or something. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so assuming that we're no longer in mixed company being the more pure definition, meaning people who you do and don't have a close cultural relationship with. I don't remember exactly how it's best phrased, but it's something like that. A friend of mine used to think it was that back when people colloquially used it as men and women. But I think that the more pure definition is, in fact, something along the lines of people you do and don't trust. People you do and don't have a cultural fit and understanding with. Anyway, there's another one of the things that's a little bit uncomfortable about too much. Well, too much is a strong word, but you know, let me just say this, and then you can kind of backfill from our conversation so far. There's the idea of casting pearls before swine, which can sound kind of derogatory to the people that are the swine in the scenario, but you have to remember that swine just trample on things without regard for what it is. And that's kind of the analogy. Is not that I don't think it was that the other negative qualities of swine as much as that they will just stomp on things. They don't care. Anyway, so you don't cast pearls before swine. The idea, things that are precious to you, things that are personal to you, things that are little tidbits of wisdom that you've received in your life, you have to be somewhat judicious how and where you share them, because for some people it just makes them revolt harder, and for some people they'll attack you for your belief system or whatever. So, and there's many cases where there is no benefit to sharing an insight or wisdom that you've gained, because there is no audience that will receive it well, and there is and you won't get any benefit out of it. They won't get any benefit out of it. Now, I think there is obviously an audience that has received, we've been of mutual understanding in talking about this, but like that one person who came in that I doubt is still here, they have a different belief system, and it's there's a public nature of the internet that potentially, other people watch this or something, and there's that potential for people to, I don't exactly know how to phrase it. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to continue along a path of things that are too personal, even if they're not personal in a weird way, like a mental health issue or a fungus that's growing between my little toe and the one right next to it. Just too much raw truth. Oversharing is not always, when it's a negative thing. You can overshare positive and good things too. And so there's some, I don't know. I can't quite describe it. You might get what I'm saying. You might not. It's not quite well formed for me yet. Okay. Well, I think that we can close that out. And I'm hoping that your own, let me just see if there was any other thing that he put on here. No, he did not. All right. Yeah, because I did give some feedback. So basically this one, and somebody else could potentially take this the rest of the way. So Yaroon has a couple of commits in here where he just adds in, here's how we get the latest version, and here we're going to clone. What did he do? AL folder. I don't know why move that into a variable. Maybe I missed something here. Okay, because it's going to be moved twice. This one, I'd actually make the argument that this is making more complexity to abstract it. I would not reject it for this reason, but if you take a look at this, this is only used twice, so it's not likely to change. So I would say rather than putting this in a variable, the better way is the way that I had it before, where it's just used in line. Oh, I know why he was doing it. I know why he's doing it this way. Because he was thinking about taking what's in here and then replicating it so that the only thing you do is change the repo and you change the folder, and the rest of this you leave the same, and we'd make this specific change across multiple Vim plugins. But that's not what we actually want to do. What we want to do instead is we want to get the list of plugins from a Git source, and then we want to apply the normal template to the Vim plugin, the same way that we do with anything else that has a version. Although that doesn't quite work either. Well, it does, because what we do is we just replace the install function with git clone rather than install, and then that works. Okay. Okay, let's see. That comment. Right. Okay, back to the Pac-Man thing. Pac-Man is from when you said that you had Ian V-Man Alias Man, ENV Man, Path Man. Yeah. Yeah, the folder for ENV Man has always, well, almost always. The first version of Pathman had a config Pathman folder, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I thought there's a lot of things you want to configure about your environment. The path is one of them. Path, aliases, and then random variables. And so Pathman, Aliasman, ENVman. And so ENVman has yet to be created after years. Aliasman and Pathman config go into the ENVman folder because the proper hierarchy of the tool set is that ENVman is at the top. So, yeah, we're clear now. Do understand what you mean. Some opinions are sometimes not well understood outside their conversation and context, and it being online make it so it can be taken out of context. Yeah, but there's a little bit more of a live element to it than that, because I'm not really worried about somebody going back in and then taking something I said and then chopping it up. Yeah, that could happen, but all they would do is make me more popular, right? So if they get 100 million people to hate on me, awesome. Other than that, I am a little bit scared because I've already had weird stuff happen just streaming the past 2 years and having a couple thousand people on YouTube and a couple hundred people on Twitch. I've already had a couple of weird things happen that I feel better. I'm not afraid, but I feel better having a home security system. You know? I would feel really, really uncomfortable if I didn't have a P.O. box. Just some stuff like that. So the 100 million people thing, that could be really weird. But, if it went out to 100 million people, it would be one of those things of the people who don't receive it well and want to just make a big deal out of it, all they would do would be pushing it to the people who would receive it well and wouldn't make a big deal out of it. So but I would be worried about the weirdos, because the weirdos would come out and it's the birthday problem. The more weirdos there are, the more extremism you get among the weirdos. But that aside, because I don't think that's likely, there's just some sort of element to the liveness of it. One, like I said, I don't want to come across as preachy or proselyting, because that's not what the channel is about. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, as I often say, unless we're talking about coding, in which case I am trying to tell you how to live your life. Something about having too extended of a conversation, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but if it gets to be a long half an hour, I enjoy it. I'm glad that we're together, but something about that length just doesn't sit well with me in terms of the purpose of the channel. I don't want anybody to feel hoodwinked or clickbaity or anything like that. And I definitely don't want to come across as preachy, because in those moments when they happen, they need to be authentic and sincere, and they need to have a brevity to them. Because if there's not a brevity to them, then even if the people who are having a good time with it are having a good time with it, to the people who are just listening in or willing to say, oh yeah, this guy's talking about some beliefs for a little bit, that's fine. It can be a turnoff, both in terms of the channel, the individual, and the belief. You messaged me on Discords. It's not that I think we need a different forum, but it's not. So I want to put this in the right context. I enjoy it. I want it to happen. I don't think that it needs to be segmented off into a different forum, because we talked earlier about integrity, right? And we become more integral as we integrate. So I think that that's good. It's just it's just a matter of the time and the timing, so that it's natural. And it's weird to say, because these are all positive messages, or at least they're positive to me, they're positive to you, but it's natural, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's like ice cream, you want to have a few bites and it's great. You don't want to have it for a meal. think that might be. I feel pretty good about that analogy. I think that's right. It's a little bit of something extra that sprinkled is awesome, but in a heap kind of stinks. Manure. It's like manure. A little bit here and there, awesome. A lot of it, meh. Yeah, but manure inspires growth, makes things better. It smells bad. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to check the message on Discord. Hold on here. Oh. Yeah. Indeed. So, thank you very much for that consideration, Elon. However, I actually there's a couple things. So the domain, I guess I won't share it yet, but Bash is actually not the point of interest. POSIX scripting is the point of interest. Bash is not really the point of interest either as the interactive shell or as the scripting shell. So there's that. Also, I personally don't like the aesthetic of having the segmentation of the domain in a weird place. So I would rather go for something like a .dev or a .app, but not try to combine different country codes with different combinations of words. I don't think it works out that well. So, Webi.sh and Webi.ms, that's because it's a POSIX shell. So it serves like a file extension, and .ms because we don't have a PS, I don't think, or maybe we do, but it wasn't available. Anyway, okay. So I think that I'm all done here. I think I just need to send this link over. And thanks everybody for joining in. Yeah, that other domain that you're mentioning privately, I wouldn't get it. I'm pretty sure I've seen that one before. I think somebody used to own that. But I wouldn't do it. I think that vanity domains, meaning something that's not a .com, essentially, they're best with a very specific use case. .dev is great for developer resources. .app is great for something that is app-like. I think that those make a lot of sense. .com is good in the general case, and it's censorship resistant because of its history and the governance of it. .io was kind of hip for a time. I think .sh has its place. So, for example, we have duckdns.sh. Did you know? Oh, whoops. Is it not going to load now? Huh, that took a really long time to load. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to throw this over. Hold on. I'm going to throw this over to Jojo Byte. Is he online? He's not online. I'll throw it over to Jojo Byte too. And I'm going to throw it over to Ryan, if I can find Ryan. Boom, 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 boom. Oh. Okay. Jojo might grab it real quick. Okay. And Yorun's going to give my suggestion a try. Okay, let's see. Oh, Jojo Bite is on the stream. He's watching. Okay. Yeah, well, we just kind of had this very natural conversation. I don't remember what came up, but we were just talking about life and the universe and everything and important books. Oh, I think it started because Clean Cut is giving away a Rust course, and I post a link to that. I will post a link to that again. So you want to grab it quickly. I'm not sure how long his Rust course is being given away, but here it is again. And then we were talking about how Nate is a man of integrity. And then we were talking about about a book that he recommended to me, Tribal Leadership. And then we were talking about the different tiers of basically quality of life that are talked about in Tribal Leadership. And then, quality of life discussion, so on and so forth. So as somebody said, it was spiritual. It was a spiritual conversation. It went a little bit longer than the usual spiritual conversations as far as in my streams go. I think it's probably the longest one. And so that's what I was making back reference to. And then right as we kind of coming to a close with it, somebody popped in who had, well, at least from what it seems, just kind of had a very negative attitude and just kind of popped in to say how much they didn't like the channel and left. I think. And so, yeah, that brought about the thing of saying, I mean, it wasn't really related. That it was actually it had kind of dovetailed into a different thing, but I was just kind of saying, I enjoy the conversation. I want it to happen. I just want to be careful about it, that it happens within bounds that are inviting and not preachy or clickbaity in terms of the title is we're going to do some Vim stuff and some Bash stuff. And then, for half an hour, we're having this conversation about great books that we like it is good, but that's the recap of it. Okay. So anyway, do you want to give a review to that, Jojo Bite? Right. Because I'll put you on here. Okay, you go ahead and give that a review, and then I'll get it in, and then we'll get going. So the things I changed, I'm just going to go ahead and double check them all real quick. So Vimale. So let's do, let's see, export, Webi, Vimale. So I need to be able to open up Vim. Okay, nothing broke. I should be able to open up something else. Actually, do I have anything else here? Oh, I just reverted the version. That's what had happened because I was so confused about it. So let me go into a project real quick. I'll go into a Dash project. I just want to see that Vimale is still working. Let's go into Dash HD. Okay. All right. So there's no errors. Let's make an error. Oh, there it is, right there. So see, on the far of the screen, whoops. So all the way back over in this area here, you can see eProperty and code xpub. So that was driving me bonkers because it looks like a comment. What's going on here? And it was just, they were going all the way down. So for example, let's see if I can replicate this. So what happened would be something like this, right? And then see, you can see there's one inline here, and then it's in, and it extends onto the next line. So what was happening was every single line, when you delete a bracket, every single line after that becomes an error. So this does not look like it's got the behavior I want. It looks like it's still doing what I don't want. Let me see if I can double check that Vim plugins ale. Okay. I'm actually just gonna back that up for a second. Okay, that's better. Okay, linter status. I'm just going to check a few of these things. All right, status line. I'd actually prefer to have less. I don't think I've made any changes to my personal config. Okay, show error count. Oh, that's neat. I don't know where I copied these from. Probably from the README. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like to have this much special config. Okay, error save, error save, error save, error warning. Oh, whoops. So enter save, got it. Crossbones! Bah! It's kind of a neat one. Alright, so let's try this again. Hey, alright, that looks okay. Okay, and then what would be a warning? What would be a warning? How do I... Come on, what's a warning? A warning is... I don't know how to generate a warning to see what the warning looks like. Oh well. Okay, well it's not more broken. So that's the important thing here. Let me see, what else do I need to check? So doc, we don't need to check any of the doc stuff. Doc stuff's just doc stuff. But we need to... Smartcase is now included in Vim Essentials. We do need to test Vim Essentials just to make sure Vim Essentials doesn't fail. So Webi Vim Essentials. And make sure I didn't get the wrong trailing slash type in there. Okay, well I thought this one was going to be really quick, and I think it could have been. We've been on for 2.5 hours. This could have been done in, you know, an hour, maybe less. But we had a good time. Well, there were a number of other things that I decided to go in and do, just, you know, little piddly diddly changes. So that's all right. But we had a good time. So thanks everybody for joining in. Wait, this is like following an ADHD thought process. What is? Were you talking about my explanation earlier where I said how one thing led to another, led to another, led to another? That's how I think every day. That's my thought process. Mountain Dew. Open focus. Stimulants? What kind of person do you have to be for stimulants to help you focus and fall asleep at night? Them's my people. I actually have had Mountain Dew to help me fall asleep. I think that was probably a bad choice to drink the rest of the half of that just now. But I have had Mountain Dew to help me fall asleep, because sometimes it can kind of calm the nerves in the brain. I think that a medical doctor would say that's not possible, but I would say I'm possible. Or maybe I'd say I don't care whether or not I'm possible. Okay, cool. Looks good. All right. We'll get it in. I am going to go cancel this. Okay. Oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? Okay, we just need to take this, Vim extras, and bring it in. And then I'm going to go into... What is it? Oh, wait, and I was supposed to... Who was I supposed to... Somebody... Okay. Duncan. I was going to give Duncan access to a thing. Bless me. Let me go get him access real quick. Oh. Let's see. Sign up here first. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to pull that in. I'm going to push. We're going to... Oh, wait. I did push that already, so it should already be on live. So if we go to webinstall.dev/vim-smartcase. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. There we are. What? Chrome new tab? That's not what I copied. Did everybody see that? Did y'all saw that I did not copy new tab, right? Ghosts in the machine. All right. What was the other thing I was doing? All right. I've lost my focus. I drank it too late. Index, right? Vim shell. Vim spell. Oops. LMNOP. So this one does need to go down. Set ignore case insensitive search by default. Mixed case sensitivity. There we go. I don't know why these are in the order they're in. Some of it probably has to do with the order that they install in. Alright. So, who do we raid? We're getting off this train. O.Nerd is on. We're gonna raid O.Nerd. I like him. If he's the one I think he is. It's been a while. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up. There we go. Hold on. Get diff cached real quick. Smartcase, spell, after shell. Actually, we're going to make this a little bit better. What was I going to do? Oh. Okay. And what would this be? Add vim, shell, and vim smart case to homepage. Okay, and then I gotta go make this pull request. And then we'll have our first review here. From Duncan. Bloop. Other review was handled. Please review this at your convenience. All right. Now, where was I at? O.Nerd. We're going to raid O.Nerd. Boom. Raid has been created. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. Adios. Oh, I didn't press this button or that button.